Hello children, welcome to today's chemistry class. In the last video, we have discussed about balancing of chemical equation. Hope that all of you understood how to balance a chemical equation. Now, can you tell what all information we are getting from a balanced equation? Or can we do something else to make it more informative? Let us discuss in this video. This is a balanced chemical equation. Here zinc is reacting with sulfuric acid to form zinc sulfate and hydrogen. So what all information we will get from this balanced equation? We can identify that zinc and H2SO4 are the reactants. Like that zinc sulfate and H2 are the product. So the name of the reactants and products we can identify from this balanced equation. Like that the formula of zinc, the formula of sulfuric acid, the formula of zinc sulfate and that of hydrogen. All these things we can identify from this balanced equation. The second thing is that we can identify what quantity of these reactants are reacting together and what quantities of these products are produced in the chemical reaction. That also we can identify from this balanced equation. The quantities of these reactants and products are represented by the number of moles. The coefficients of these reactants and products are representing the number of moles. So here the coefficient is 1, that means 1 mole of zinc is reacting with here also the coefficient is 1. So again the number of mole is 1. So 1 mole of zinc is reacting with 1 mole of sulfuric acid or H2SO4 and producing 1 mole of zinc sulfate and 1 mole of hydrogen. So the quantities of this reactants and product also can be identified from this balanced equation. From a balanced chemical equation, we can identify which are the reactants, which are the product, what are the symbols and formula of reactants and product, and how many moles of this reactants and products are involved in this chemical equation. All these things we can identify from this balanced equation, and this balanced equation we can make more informative by adding some additional information. How can we do that? What all information we can add to make the equation more informative? That we can study now. Okay. How can we make balanced equation more informative? The first thing is that we can represent the physical state of the reactants and product in the balanced equation. Physical state means whether they are solid, liquid or gas, or their solution in water. Which one we are using in the chemical reaction, that we can mention in the chemical equation. If it is solid, we are using the letter S, that we are putting in bracket. If it is solid, we are putting S and put it in bracket. Then like that, if it is liquid, we are writing L, and for gas we are writing G, and if the solution in water is used in the chemical reaction, that is known as aqueous solution. Solution in water is known as aqueous solution, and that is represented by AQ. Okay, so these are the short forms we are using to represent the physical state of the reactants and product. Now in this equation, Zn plus H2SO4 gives ZnSO4 plus H2. Zn we are using, it is in the solid state. So here we can write S in bracket as a subscript. That means zinc is in solid state. Then H2SO4 we are using the aqueous solution, so we can write AQ in bracket. So sulfuric acid aqueous solution we are using in this reaction. Then zinc sulfate formed also will be aqueous solution, that is it's a solution we are getting. So that also we can represent like this, AQ in bracket. Then hydrogen is a gas, so we can write G in bracket. Okay, so from this we will get the physical state of the reactants and product. That is the first method to make the balanced equation more informative. Then if one of the product is a gas, instead of writing G in bracket, we can put an upward arrow like this. This also represents gas. Okay, so here H2 is a gas, so instead of writing G in bracket, we can put an upward arrow like this. That also represents gas. The second point is that concentration of acid we can represent in the equation. There are two types of acids, that is dilute acids and concentrated acids. Concentrated acids means they are not mixed with water. Dilute acids means they are mixed with water. Okay. So if it is dilute acid, we can use the short form DIL, that we can represent in the equation. And if it is concentrated acid, we can write CONC. Okay. So suppose a reaction involves acids, we can represent in the equation whether it is dilute acid or concentrated acid by using these short forms. So the equation we can write like this: Zn plus dilute H2SO4. This means we are using dilute H2SO4 in this reaction. We are getting zinc sulfate plus hydrogen gas. Okay, that is the second one. We can represent whether the acid is dilute or concentrated. The third point is that heat changes accompanying the reaction also can be represented in the balanced equation. During some chemical reaction, heat energy is released. Heat is released or heat is produced. Okay. Such chemical reactions are known as exothermic reaction. Exothermic reaction. So the reactions which involves the release of heat energy, which is known as exothermic reaction. And during some chemical reactions, heat is absorbed. Heat is absorbed. Such chemical reaction can be called as endothermic reaction. So the chemical reaction which involves the absorption of heat energy, that is known as endothermic reactions. Okay. So whether it is exothermic or endothermic, that also we can represent in the balanced chemical equation. Okay. So during some chemical reaction, heat energy is produced. Such chemical reaction can be called as exothermic reaction. And during some chemical reactions, heat energy is absorbed or accepted. Such a chemical reaction can be called as endothermic reaction. If it is exothermic reaction, that means if heat energy is produced, we can represent that in the product side. Heat can be represented in the product side like this. When carbon combined with oxygen, it is producing carbon dioxide. Along with that, heat is also produced. So we are writing plus heat in the product side. That means heat energy is produced during this reaction, and such reaction can be called as exothermic reaction. Okay. So in such cases, plus heat is written on the product side. But in endothermic reaction, heat energy is absorbed. So plus heat we are writing in the reactant side. For example, when nitrogen combines with oxygen, it absorbs heat energy. So we are writing plus heat in the reactant side. Produces NO, nitric oxide. To balance that, we have to multiply here with 2. Okay. All these are in gaseous state. So we can write G in bracket. Okay. So from this equation, we can understand that this is an endothermic reaction. That means heat energy is absorbed during this reaction. That is why we are writing plus heat in the reactant side. Okay. So there are two types of reaction: exothermic reaction and endothermic reaction. In exothermic reaction, heat energy is produced. So we are writing plus heat in the product side. In endothermic reaction, heat energy is absorbed. So it is plus heat is writing on the reactant side. The fourth point is that the conditions under which the reaction taking place can also be represented in the balanced equation. All reactions are not taking place at room temperature. Some reactions require a specific temperature and pressure. Then only that reaction will taking place. And that temperature and pressure are known as the conditions. So the conditions under which that reaction taking place, that also we can represent in the balanced equation. Okay, so the conditions of temperature and pressure can be included in the balanced equation. For example, in the formation of ammonia by the combination between nitrogen and hydrogen. Ammonia. Nitrogen combines with hydrogen forming ammonia. This reaction will take place only at a particular temperature and pressure. The temperature required is 500 degrees Celsius. So that 500 degrees Celsius we are writing above the arrow like this. Okay. This means that this particular reaction is taking place at this particular temperature. And it requires 200 atmospheric pressure also. So that also we can represent above the arrow. So the condition of temperature and pressure at which this reaction is taking place, we are representing above the arrow. Okay. So here nitrogen combined with hydrogen at a particular temperature of 500 degrees Celsius and 200 atmospheric pressure and forming ammonia. Okay. Now to balance this, N2 plus 3H2 gives 2NH3. This is the balanced equation. These nitrogen and hydrogen are gases. Ammonia also is in gaseous form. Okay. So that also we can represent in this balanced equation. And one more thing, this reaction requires one more substance. We are adding one more substance during this reaction to increase the speed of this reaction. Okay. We are adding one more substance to increase the speed of this reaction. That substance, it is increasing the speed of the reaction only, but it is not involving in the chemical reaction. Such substances we are adding is known as a catalyst. So a catalyst means the substances we are adding to increase the speed of the reaction. And it is not involving in the chemical reaction, and we will get back after the reaction. Okay, such a substance is known as a catalyst, and here we are adding a catalyst, that is iron. So the name of the catalyst also we can represent in this equation, that is below arrow we are writing. Below the arrow we are writing the name of the catalyst, that is iron. Okay, so when we are seeing this balanced equation, we can understand that here nitrogen combined with hydrogen and we are getting ammonia. All the reactants and product are in the gaseous state. Then, what is the next information we are getting? 1 mole of nitrogen combined with 3 mole of hydrogen and we will get 2 mole of ammonia. That also we will get. That information also we will get. Then, what are the temperature and pressure and what is the catalyst we are using in this equation. All these things we can identify from this balanced equation. Okay. Can you tell what all information we will get from this balanced equation? The first thing, we can identify the formula of the reactant and products. KClO3, that is potassium chlorate. Potassium chlorate is the reactant and potassium chloride, KCl, and oxygen are the product. Okay. Then the second information we are getting is that 2 moles of potassium chloride reacting and producing 2 moles of KCl and 3 moles of oxygen. That is the second information. Then third one, the physical state of the reactants and product. Potassium chloride is in solid state, potassium chloride also in solid state, and oxygen is in gaseous state. Then the next information we are getting is potassium chloride on heating. It is changing into potassium chloride and oxygen. So this reaction is an endothermic reaction. We have to heat that reaction. So this is an endothermic reaction. Then MnO2. Why we are writing MnO2 here below the arrow? That means it is acting as a catalyst here. MnO2, that is manganese dioxide, is acting as the catalyst in this reaction. So these are the information we are getting from this balanced equation. Okay. So I'm telling once again, from this balanced equation we will get the name of the reactant and product, then number of moles of the reactants and product, their physical state, and since plus heat is written, it is an endothermic reaction and MnO2 is acting as the catalyst. These are the information we are getting from this balanced equation. And if the equation is an endothermic reaction, we can write plus heat in the reactant side, or we can write heat above the arrow. Both represents endothermic reaction. Okay. Or instead of writing this heat, we can put a sign like this, symbol like this, delta. Okay. We can put a symbol delta. That also represents heat. Either we can write heat or we can put the symbol delta. Okay. Both represents heat. So these are the information we are getting from the balanced equation. Hope that it is clear for all of you.